Welcome to, or welcome back to, the Agatha May Detective Agency. I'm Agatha May, and in this video, I'm going to introduce you to some newcomers to the Mica Francis case. Before I introduce them, let me preface all of this by saying that I am not accusing anyone of anything. I am simply pointing out what I've discovered. Remember how everyone went absolutely bonkers when it was discovered that John Paul's former attorney, Tom Winslow, owned property on the Lumber River? This is the property he owns. It's almost 168 acres on the state line, less than 10 minutes east of Fairbluff, North Carolina. The other day, I decided to poke around the property that's around Tom's. I don't know why I did, but I did. The poking was done on a property map, by the way. I wasn't literally trespassing on anyone's property. I came across a small piece of land, and when I saw who owned it, I immediately recognized the name, Missions for the Nations Ministry. The reason I recognized it is because, just like the dwarfs in Snow White, I like to dig. Missions for the Nations, or MUFTON for short, might be a new name for some of you. I came across it back when I discovered that there were 83 names associated with 803 Howard Avenue. Maybe I should back up. Once upon a time, I was looking up 803 Howard Avenue, the address of Solid Rock at Market Common, and formerly the address of Cathedral Baptist Church of the Grand Strand and Cathedral Bible College. Well, looky there. It's the same names mentioned in the lawsuits from Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe number 2. I came across 83 names that were associated with the address. I thought it was a bit odd, so I started digging. And I discovered that the connection these people had to 803 Howard is that they had attended my favorite idiot's college. That's right, they were all alumni of Cathedral Bible College, formerly Gloryland Bible College, and currently All Nations Bible College. Now, all of these are the same college founded by Reginald Wayne Miller, but he just keeps renaming them whenever another scandal drops into his lap. I started looking at some of the names on the list and recognized a few. Elena Morella Dutoit, she was listed as the registered agent for a couple of Troy Taylor's businesses. As a refresher, Troy Taylor is the friend of Reggie Miller's, who's on the sex registry for sexually assaulting a minor. Nabil Shahzad was on the list too, and he's the jewelry store owner who used to run a mission for Pakistan through Solid Rock at Market Common. His name was on this journal entry of Mica's, and this entry has always bothered me. Nabil said that he spent 4 hours with Mica on the night before her death, and that stood out to me because that's the exact amount of time that John Paul said he spent with Mica on the last time he saw her. David and Angela Victoria were on the list of names. David was the business administrator at Cathedral Baptist Church, and Angela was the bookkeeper. Then I came across the name Eric Wilder, and that's where this story starts to loop back to that property next to Tom Winslow's. Eric Wilder was John Paul Miller's best man when he married Allison back in 2000. He attended Cathedral Bible College, and he and his wife Chrissy also worked in the youth ministry at Reggie's church. Chrissy was also one of Lacey Miller's teachers at Reggie's school and was one of the people who wrote a letter in favor of Reggie gaining custody of the children during his and Susan's divorce. I haven't found anything that shows that either of them are still directly connected to either Wayne or John Paul, other than Eric being Facebook friends with John Paul Miller's mother, Susan Miller, and his son, Logan Hardy. But they are sidled up to some people that are still very much connected to the Millers, and they are closely connected to two other Cathedral alumni, Kamal and Darina Fraser, who are the founders of MUFTON. And you know what that makes Kamal? The MUFTON Man. In a 2024 convention held at the Frasers' church, you can see that Nabil Shahzad, the Wilders, and the Frasers were all there. I'm going to have a separate video just about this flyer and the people in it. We'll find out how many of them that use doctor before their name or Reggie's brand of doctor, and maybe find out that one of them just uses it without any kind of doctorate degree. Kamal came to the U.S. from Jamaica in 2004 to attend Cathedral Bible College, and I really hope he wasn't one of the students that Reggie overworked and underpaid. That same year, he founded the ministry. Well, how ambitious. According to a 2013 brochure about the ministry, their goal was to build a church, a Bible college, and a Christian retreat center. Why does that sound so familiar? Oh, I know. That was Reggie's dream for Gloryland that he was never able to achieve because he allegedly couldn't stop hitting on his male students. Now, that's according to the expose aired by WPDE. We could go with Reggie's version, though. And in Reggieland, he hadn't done anything wrong, and the only reason his former students got on television and told WPDE how he assaulted them was because it was ratings week. Oh, Reggie, we don't believe you. Kamal's wife Dorina came to the U.S. from Romania in 2005, and she also attended Cathedral. She and Kamal met, and if I told you the story of their courtship, I'd be making it up, so I won't tell it. According to their website, their ministry is a faith-based community outreach and oversight organization. Well, that's vague enough. Their website has a list of their partner ministries. They have oversight of 6 churches, well, technically 4, and 2 are on the way. Eric Wilder is pastor of one of those, which is Purpose Life Church in Georgetown, South Carolina. One of the churches under Mufton is Beulah Worship Center in Conway, where Kamal and Dorina are the pastors. The other 2 churches are supposed to be in Jamaica, but there isn't any information about them, just what parish they're supposed to be in. They don't show up on a map either. I'm not saying they don't exist, I'm just saying I can't find them. So, as an oversight ministry, I'm guessing that they're similar to the oversight organizations for other denominations, but they are non-denominational and they have oversight over the church where they're pastors. That seems transparent. The Frasers also have a daycare program, after-school programs, a children's camp, a food bank, a TV network, international ministries, and a thrift store. You can also book an appointment to have your TV show recorded or hire Kamal to be your life coach. Their website reminds me a bit of Joseph and Lynette Dutton's website, but with a lot less flash and none of the sass. Mufton is bringing in around $1 million a year, which is fine if they're actually using the money for good. According to their 2022 990, which is a form the IRS requires some nonprofits to file, they received government grants in the amount of $591,000. That's a lot of grant money. Faith-based organizations can receive government grants as long as they don't spend the money on any religious aspect of their organization. So it looks as though the Frasers could spend the grant money on the food bank and the thrift store. In 2022, there was a net profit of around $170,000. But in 2023, the ministry had a net loss of around $160,000. But Kamal still managed to get a 20% salary increase, and Dorina got a salary increase of over 25%. Together, they make around $162,000 per year. Kamal and Dorina must be super dedicated to their ministry because on the 990, it has that they both work 80 hours a week. Well, that's almost 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's a huge task for Kamal because he also owns a restaurant, Caribbean Jerk Cuisine in Conway. And according to their website, he's the head chef. I'm beginning to think Kamal never sleeps, and as such, I can only conclude that he's a vampire. I poked around the Mufton Facebook page, and I came across a photo of a mission trip they'd taken to Jamaica in 2011. And look who it is! It's the pint-sized pastor, Charles I Don't Beat My Wife Randall. Well, how about that? There was another mission trip in 2013, and I'll be darned if they didn't have 14 of the exact photos from their 2011 trip. Maybe the kids in Jamaica just don't age and are very good at recreating the exact same poses. Or maybe they were trying to make their 2013 mission trip look like more than it actually was. Now, you might be thinking that maybe the Frasers don't have anything to do with Charles Randall anymore. Maybe they're just out there doing their own thing. I thought that too at first, but then I realized that I recognized Dorina from this flyer. She was a guest speaker at Charles's 2024 conference. And see Pastor Jumbo on this flyer too? Remember when John Paul said that he'd paid for Pastor Jumbo to fly from Africa so Mica could see him? I think this is when John Paul was talking about, and I don't think he paid for him to be here. I think Pastor Jumbo was here for the conference. So let's talk a little about some of Mufton's programs. Their camp is for children aged 5 to 12 years old, and they don't have a lot of rules listed for camp, but one really stuck out to me, and I mean stuck like splinters under every one of my fingernails, and that was this one. Girls are asked to wear a proper bathing suit whenever one is required. Water camp shirts and water shoes are required for water days. So, number 1, what is a proper bathing suit? Number 2, why are you sexualizing young girls by insinuating that they would be wearing a bathing suit that wasn't proper? And number 3, can the boys just wear whatever they want? Maybe a much less creepy way to write the rule would be that girls are required to wear one-piece bathing suits and boys are required to wear board-short swim trunks. The ministry's daycare has had its share of violations and complaints in the past 3 years, and it's not the best, but there are a couple that are actually worse in Conway, so there's that. The most common violation was that there weren't enough staff members. Their TV network isn't actually a television station, from what I can tell. They use lightcast.com to publish their videos. They have a live stream of church services, a podcast, and commercials for their restaurant, and they even have children's programming. It's a puppet show. A puppet show that has 2 bee puppets. The puppet show is put on by Maybelline B. Evans, who is a close friend of Reginald Wayne Miller. She worked at his college and possibly still helps out. I know she was part of the 2023 graduation ceremony. One of the puppets' name is Wannabe, and the other puppet's name is Doobie. I'm not making that up. You know what? I'll bet if you smoked a doobie while you were watching her puppet show, it would probably be quite the experience. It doesn't look as though the ministry's website has been updated in a while, and I'm not sure that they actually have churches in Jamaica. It doesn't seem like they can keep enough people working at their daycare. It does seem like the thrift store is doing okay, but I noticed a recurring theme when reading their reviews. There seems to be items that aren't actually for sale on the sale floor. One reviewer was told the items were being held for the church. And I'm still looking into the food bank. I'm unsure if the information on the website is just out of date or if they aren't complying with the organization that they're supposed to be partnering with for the food bank. And that's part of why updating websites is important. But there's one more connection to talk about. I know, right? So how did Mufton come to own this lovely piece of property in Nichols, South Carolina? I guess I failed to mention before how super creepy it is, huh? And in case you're not looking at the picture and just listening right now, take my word for it, it's super creepy. Well, this property was donated by Patricia Ferguson Majors. She's an attorney in Myrtle Beach, and when I saw her as the donor of the property, I remembered another Majors that had something to do with donated land. Ned Majors was an attorney from Georgia, and a progress report from 2000 for Cathedral Baptist Church indicated that Ned helped them with the land that was donated to them by the U.S. government. But are the two Majors connected? Yes, and in a major way. Pun obviously intended. Ned married Patricia on March 7, 1998, and guess who officiated their wedding? Reggie, and their wedding was right there at Cathedral Baptist Church of the Grand Strand. Now here's a little side trip about Ned. He owned a business named Tax Lien Agents in Myrtle Beach. In 2003, the Attorney General of South Carolina ordered him to shut it down for trading securities without a license. The Attorney General also claimed that Ned was making misleading statements to investors and hadn't disclosed that he had been disbarred in Georgia. Ned sued the Attorney General's office for $1 billion, lost, took it to the South Carolina Supreme Court, and lost again. Ned and Patricia divorced in 2006. Can you imagine Reggie being connected to a guy who might not have been entirely honest? Say it ain't so, Reg. I suppose the question is, why does the ministry own this property? Are they hoping it will go up in value? The house is absolutely worthless. There's a little less than an acre of land, so why hang on to it? The only other property owned by Mufton is the ministry building and the Fraser's house. It's a pretty spiffy house, too. They even have an in-ground pool. Fancy. I can't say for sure that Mufton isn't what it seems. I do know that I don't trust anyone connected to Charles Randall or anyone connected to the Millers. To me, it looks like Kamal is much more devoted to his restaurant than to the ministry. The website for the restaurant is up to date with the copyright of 2025, while the ministry website has a copyright of 2019. A lot of links on the ministry's website no longer work, and it looks like some of the information is no longer accurate. On his personal Facebook page, Kamal mentions the restaurant a lot more than he does the ministry these days. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just pointing out a whole bunch of dots that connect. I'm not positive what the picture turns out to be on this dot to dot, though. At least not yet. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share, as this boosts the algorithm and more people will become aware of these connections. And subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. Until next time, stay safe and be happy.